Welcome back to Bear Recaps. Today I will recap a 2010 comedy horror movie named Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Be aware there are spoilers. The movie opens with a group of college kids driving to go camping in the woods. The fellows tell the driver Chuck to speed up, but he refuses as it's his father's car. Suddenly, a pickup appears in front of them, causing Chuck to swerve sharply. Later, the pickup passes them, and the two men in it look at them without saying anything, making the kids nervous. And one of them soon finds they forgot the beer, so they head to a local store for it. Chad and Allison enter inside, and the driver of the pickup is also there, still glancing at them coldly. Chad goes to look for beer, and Allison wanders around the store, whose environment looks creepy. When she reaches for a bug spray, the bearded guy is staring at her on the other side, greatly startling Allison. Soon Chloe comes to take Allison out, saying the place is creepy. The two men, Tucker and Dale, are actually preparing for their vacation. While Tucker is loading up the car, Dale looks at Allison in fascination but doesn't have the gut to talk to her.
These are college girls, okay? They grew up with vacation homes and guys like me fixing their toilets.
Tucker encourages Dale to have faith in himself, telling him that he's a good-looking man, and more importantly, he has a good heart, which boosts Dale's confidence and makes him ready to give it a shot. Before that, Tucker tells him to smile and laugh to look confident. When Dale makes his way toward them and starts to speak and laugh weirdly, Chad comes out and claims they don't want any trouble before driving off quickly.
I told you, Tucker. I'm a zero with the ladies. They hate my face.
Later, the duo proceeds to head toward their destination while drinking beers and talking about Dale's lack of confidence. Tucker suddenly drops his beer, saying a sheriff is behind. Dale then tries to clean the spilled beer but gets his shirt stuck. The sheriff sees Dale getting up from Tucker's lap half naked and looks at them suspiciously. But it turns out he pulls them over merely to remind them of the broken turn signal. But once Tucker mentions they're going to his newly bought vacation home by the lake, the sheriff warns them there are only pains there, much to the two's confusion. After the sheriff leaves, Tucker comments the sheriff was just jealous about their vacation house. Not long after, they arrive at their vacation home, which turns out just to be a shabby cabin. But Dale is overjoyed at the fact that the place is theirs.
Well, it's just a little dusty is all.
It's a mansion.
The cabin has many animal bones and news about a killing spree, but they think whoever lived there must be an archaeologist and was a news junkie. Dale even finds his favorite board game on a cupboard. When Tucker leans his arm against a wooden beam, Dale pushes him to the ground as he sees a plank with nails swinging at him. Elsewhere, the group is chatting casually around a fire, but Chad starts to tell them a true story in a serious tone. He claims the story happened right here 20 years ago, and it's also a bunch of college kids just like them. The scene cuts back to 20 years ago. When they are partying around the fire, someone changes their cassette tape and throws a saw blade at one of them. The man proceeds with his massacre, killing the rest of them, and Chad notes that there's only one who made it out and told the story to the world. Then Chuck comes back and asks the other to swim in a nearby lake he just discovered. Unknown to them, Tucker and Dale are also fishing on their boat. When Allison is alone near the car, she heard someone's near. Then Chad suddenly scares her from behind with a hatchet in his hand and says it's funny. Following that, he begins to make a move on Allison, saying she's just like him, better than everyone else. But Allison is astounded by his statement, probably wondering what the hell he is on. When he tries to kiss her, Allison dodges and leaves to join the others. Tucker notices the kids playing on the lakeside and wants to go closer to have a look. But Dale insists the group probably doesn't want to see them. Just then, Allison emerges from a rock not far from them, instantly catching their eyes. Not noticing the two aside, she continues to take off her clothes. Tucker is amazed by the view, whereas Dale doesn't even dare to keep watching and covers his eyes. Dale yells at Tucker to stop it, but the voice startles Allison, causing her to scream and fall into the lake. As the two are arguing, they soon start to realize Allison still doesn't come up from the water. Therefore, Dale jumps into the water and brings an unconscious Allison to their boat. But the other college kids also see it and think they just abduct their friend, causing them to run away in terror.
We got your friend. Why the hell are they running away? Hey! No matter, Tucker, we gotta get him back to the cabin. Come on.
The clueless group rushes back and tells Chad that Allison got captured. But when Chad runs to the lake with his hatchet, the duo is already out of sight. The next morning, Allison wakes up in the cabin and thinks she's been abducted as well. So when Dale walks into the room, she is terrified and starts crying, thinking he's going to cut her open. Dale then thinks she doesn't like the pancake and begins to blame himself for not asking her in advance. On the other side, When one of the group, Naomi, suggests they go look for the police, Chad turns down the idea, insisting they handle the issue on their own. Chuck then offers to bring the police with his truck. A while later, Jason discovers the cabin, but the group is afraid of getting close to it. Inside the cabin, Dale brings eggs and bacon to Allison and explains what happened last night, and they hope her friends will come get her. He introduces his dog, Gingers, that is actually friendly despite its look. After talking to Dale, Allison realizes Dale and Tucker are just trying to renovate their vacation home. Outside, Mitch loses his rock, paper, scissors and gets sent out to check the cabin. At the same time, Tucker is cutting wood with his chainsaw but doesn't notice a bee nest in it. Therefore, he soon gets attacked by a swarm of bees and runs away. Mitch sees him running at him and brandishing a chainsaw, so he yells at his friends to run for their lives. Mitch runs desperately, seeing Tucker running behind. But soon Tucker catches up but just runs past Mitch, who wonders what's happening. But as he looks at Tucker, he gets impaled by a sharp piece of wood and seems to realize what's going on when a bee lands on his nose before he dies. Back in the cabin, Allison is playing a board game with Dale, who's just killing it. Dale notes he's dumb but he can remember everything he heard. Allison comments it doesn't sound dumb, but Dale points out he barely made past 3rd grade.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Hey, there's a difference between education and intellect.
Allison then mentions she wanted to be a therapist, but her parents don't support her. On the contrary, Dale thinks she can do whatever she wants. Soon Tucker comes back with a swollen face and Dale helps to tend him. Tucker mentions he saw her friend, and Allison wants to go out to look for them, but Dale insists that she should get some rest and that he and Tucker will find her friends. The group finds Mitch's body and regards it as a message for them. Hearing Chloe crying about the death, Chad smashes her phone and claims this is the war between them and the duo.
Survival of the fittest. What are you doing, man? That's my whole face.
You have serious issues, you know that?
Just then, they hear the duo coming and go hiding. Dale and Tucker start to yell loud to find them, which scares the group even more. Not seeing any sign of them, Dale decides to carve on a log to leave a note, which clearly gets misinterpreted by these kids again. While Dale is digging an outhouse hole, Allison comes out to help him, saying she grew up on a farm and has done this before. Elsewhere, Tucker is also busy with the wood chipper. However, the group thinks Dale is making their friend dig up her own grave. As they finish digging, one guy runs at Dale with a wooden spear. As Dale turns around, he accidentally knocks Allison with the shovel, and both of them fall into the pit. The spear guy stumbles over his own foot and falls into the pit as well, ending up getting penetrated by his own spear and scaring Dale. On the other side, another guy also runs at Tucker with a switchblade but ends up jumping into the wood chipper. Tucker tries to pull him out, but the group thinks their friend gets thrown into the machine. Later, Tucker and Dale go back to the cabin and share their bizarre encounter with the college kids. They compose themselves, and Tucker comes to a conclusion.
This is a suicide pact.
Is a what?
These kids are coming out here and they're killing themselves all over the woods.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Dale then speculates that the kids also want to kill their friend Allison as well because they just ran away when they saved her. Then he proposes they go find the police, which gets immediately turned down by Tucker, who says no one would believe what actually happened.
Dale, it doesn't matter what happened. What matters is what looks like what happened. And what looks like what happened is pretty nasty.
Therefore, they decide to clean up the mess on their own. When the others are freaking out, Chad points out this is their chance to be free from the world's rule. Then they hear Chuck coming back with the police and get in the police car. Outside the cabin, the duo gets the rest of the body out of the wood chipper. As the two are dragging the body, the police car pulls up in front of them. Tucker then starts to explain what happened to them, and clearly the sheriff doesn't buy it. Dale then mentions the unconscious girl inside may help them explain the whole thing, but the statement only makes the sheriff more suspicious and asks to check the girl. Seeing the sheriff walking toward the cabin makes the group even more terrified.
What's he doing? Why doesn't he fucking arrest them?
The sheriff checks on Allison and says she's fine, but they may still face charges of manslaughter. While speaking to the duo, the sheriff leans his hand on the broken beam, resulting in getting nailed in the head and dying shortly after. Chuck takes the revolver from the police and tries to shoot at the two, but it seems like he's never used a gun before. A nice Dale reminds him to take the safety off before shooting. When Chuck tries to figure it out, he shoots himself dead by accident. Chad runs out and uses the gun to shoot at them, forcing the duo to run back to the cabin. A while later, Dale peeks from the window and sees Chad holding Janders at gunpoint to threaten them. Tucker then conceives of a plan that Dale uses the nail gun to create a distraction, and Tucker goes from the back door to rescue the dog. As Dale shoots at them, Tucker manages to rescue the dog but ends up being discovered himself. The group then starts chasing Tucker, who tries to make a run. He tries to hide behind a log, but Chad emerges from behind and knocks him out. A while later, Tucker regains his consciousness and finds himself hung upside down. Chad says it's payback time and seems to chop at Tucker's hand, causing everyone else to scream. At the cabin, Allison wakes up and sees blood on Dale's clothes, asking him what happened. Dale bursts into tears and gets comforted by Allison, who encourages him to let it out and take a deep breath. Dale then tells her that her friends all of a sudden try to kill themselves, and now they're trying to kill his best friend and his dog. Allison also recalls her spear friend running at them before her passing out. Just then, someone knocks on the door and curses Dale, scaring him to cower into the corner. Allison thinks there must be a misunderstanding and goes out. She steps out and is shocked to see the mess outside. Soon she notices something was left on the doorstep and brings it back in. Dale soon notices it's Tucker's shirt, and when Allison opens it, it turns out to be Tucker's fingers and a note telling Dale to save his friend. Can't stand the college kids anymore. Dale picks up a knife and decides to rescue Tucker despite Allison persuading him not to escalate the situation. Not long after, Dale finds Tucker in the woods and walks toward him, who tries to warn him of the trap, but Dale fails to hear what he says, and a spear flies into the crotch of his pants.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad I'm not hung like a bear.
After that, he then frees Tucker from the tree. When it gets dark, Chad and Naomi sneak into the cabin, looking for Allison, who notices them and says there's no one else here. Chad then says they should burn the cabin and starts to spill gasoline around the place. Allison yells at him to make him stop and says the duo saved her.
Wait a minute. I remember reading about this in my sociology class. It's called the Stockholm Syndrome, when someone who's been kidnapped ends up falling in love with their kidnapper.
The assumption turns Chad into a lunatic who starts to question Allison if she fell into love with the hillbilly. Just then, the duo bursts into the cabin, creating tension between the duo and Chad. Allison comes forward to tell everyone to calm down and make Chad and Dale take seats on the opposite sides of the table. Allison makes the two some tea and lets them tell their side of the story. Chad asks if it's chamomile tea that will cause his asthma, and Allison tells him it's Earl Grey. Chad then starts by a long time ago before he was born.
Okay, maybe not that far back.
This is important.
It turns out the real story he mentioned earlier is actually what happened to his parents. His mother was tortured but managed to escape, and his father was never found. And by the time he was born, his mother was institutionalized, and he grew up hearing the story from his grandmother. Outside, Jason and Chloe approach the cabin and see them drinking tea and talking, thinking their friends are trapped there and they need to do something. Dale expresses sympathy for Chad's parents but points out he's nowhere near a killer because he can't even hurt a fish. Just then, Jason breaks into the cabin and charges at Tucker with a grass cutter. Tucker dodges the attack, resulting in Naomi, who's behind him, getting her face peeled. Chad then flips the table, trapping Dale under, and tries to attack him with a hatchet. Tucker punches Chad and gets Dale out. Chad then throws an oil lamp toward the duo, who dodges it, which ends up hitting Jason. Tucker tells him to roll on the floor, but Chloe then pours Jason a jar of liquid, which makes the fire blaze even more strongly. Shortly after, Jason collapses on the ground, engulfed in flames. The fire soon spreads to some gas cans in a corner. Chloe can't believe what she just did and starts to smoke, while the others run for their lives. But Naomi pulls Chad's leg, asking him to help her before the cabin blows up. Allison blames herself for being such a bad therapist, but Dale reassures her, saying she did a great job. Chad turns out to be built different, walking out of the cabin and yelling at them. The three quickly run to the pickup and drives off. However, when Dale turns back to look behind, they crash into a tree ahead. When Dale gets woken up by Janders, he finds Allison missing. Tucker tells him that she was taken away by Chad and he wasn't able to stop him. While Dale blames himself for everything, Tucker tells him that he saw the way how Dale and Allison look at each other and encourages him to go after what he wants.
You're smart. And you're strong. And you're not as ugly as you think you are.
Thank you, Tucker. That means a lot coming from you.
Then, Dale follows Janders to a lumber mill and heads in to look for Allison. Chad has tied up Allison and forces her to kiss him when he hears Dale coming in. Dale gears himself up in the tools room before going to help untie Allison.
Ellie, hey, it's just me, hey. It's okay.
Dale?
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
What? Oh, I thought it might look kind of intimidating.
While Dale is trying to untie the rope, Chad's voice comes out from a speaker, saying Allison shouldn't have betrayed him. Then a switch is turned on, making Allison slowly move toward a buzzsaw. While Dale tries to cut the rope, Chad comes out and kicks him away, after which the two get into a fight. While Allison screams for Dale, he throws a hatchet that manages to free her, which even surprises himself. Dale uses a chainsaw to fight with Chad, who uses a steel pipe before Allison tells him to run away. The two then run upstairs and block the entrance. Dale then starts looking for weapons for defending.
This might work, huh? Or not.
When Dale finds a box of chamomile tea, Allison also discovers something in an old newspaper. It turns out Chad's father, whose body was never found, was the killer of the massacre 20 years ago. Just then, Chad breaks in with a chainsaw before being told about who the real killer was. However, the truth only makes him even crazier, but Dale sprays the chamomile tea at him, causing him to fall from the window. The next day, the news reports that the chaos seems to be a mass suicide involving a group of mentally unstable college kids. Dale comes to the hospital to visit Tucker, who's glad he got his finger back.
I gotta tell you, I don't remember that one looking that way.
Dale gives Tucker his favorite beer before leaving. Tucker asks him if he asks Allison out for a date, but Dale says he didn't get a chance, disappointing Tucker.
Except for, she kind of mentioned to me that she's a pretty darn good bowler, so we're going bowling.
You little dickhead.
I'm out of here.
While at the bowling alley, Dale encourages another man to go after what he wants. And before he goes for it, Dale tells him just to be himself. Later, Dale confesses his feeling for Allison, who responds with a kiss and tells Dale she feels the same way about him. And as the two kiss, the old man behind knocks a girl out and pulls her away. The end. Subscribe for more content like this. And these are another 2 recommended recaps. Hope you enjoy the video. Clicks to check them out. Until next time, see you.